Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different because I'm not giving you a recipe. I just wanted to talk to you about food photography and food styling. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, then you know I love food photography. I think I love it even more than cooking, maybe. It's kind of a combination because it's awesome if you made an incredible dish, but it's just as fulfilling if you photograph that incredible dish. And you want people to, when they scroll through Instagram or through social media or Pinterest or whatever, you want people to stop when they come past your picture and take a look at it and think, wow, I really want to make this. I want to eat it. It looks amazing. You know, it really needs to stand out. So there are a couple of ways you can get your photo to stand out. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about composition, but also about color. Now, I do give food photography courses in the Netherlands, but a lot of you are not from the Netherlands, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about composition and food styling today. Now, if you take a look at my pictures, then you know I love a lot of color. I love warm pictures, warm tone pictures, a lot of color, a monochrome, but also the opposite color use. I love to use a lot of texture. I love to use a lot of shadow. I love hard light photography. So I thought, let's just incorporate all that into this video. So today I'm making a Cubano styled grilled cheese, but it's not about the recipe, but it's important to know because I'm always thinking about colors when I'm making my dish, like what type of colors are my dish and how can I incorporate those same colors or contrasting colors on my backdrops or use of my props. So the grilled cheese is usually kind of yellow orangey, but it's a Cubano, so I have pickles on there as well, so that's green. So that's already contrasting color. So I wanted to do two shoots today, one with a green backdrop and one with a warm toned yellowy backdrop. So I am going to see if I want to use like vinyl surfaces, vinyl backdrops, or if I'm going to use sheets like linen because that has a lot more texture. And I also, because the sun is now coming into my house, I also want to see what that looks like in direct sunlight because that direct sunlight can really enhance all of the structures. You don't want it to be too much, so I'm just going to test it out, and that's what I always start my shoot with, just what backdrops should I use and what type of light do I want to use. So let's start with that, and then I'm going to set up props, and then I'm going to make the dish. But let's first start with the backdrop. And by the way, I am sorry if I'm going to be a little bit chaotic, because that's just my head when I'm doing these shoots, and I'm always just testing things out. And of course there are rhymes and reasons like colors and composition techniques, but also it's just getting a sense of what feels right, you know? Okay, so here's the proof that you don't need to have this amazing photo studio, because I am just using a stool and then I have a solid wooden backdrop, which I love, but I'm not going to use today. And I'm just going to use it to place my other backdrops on. So I have this green one and I have a yellowy one, both vinyl. And I'm going to, the sun is, like I said, the sun is starting to come into the house. So I'm going to take a few test shots and see what that looks like. And then I also have green linen, which I love. And then I also have orange. But it's a bit of a thicker structure, so I don't know, maybe it's too structured, too textured for what I have in mind. But let's see, let's take some test shots. I'll show you the test shots in between the video. Now keep in mind that when you shoot with direct sunlight, you always need to shoot a couple of notches underexposed, because otherwise it'll be too bright and you'll lose all detail. Based off of these test shots, I'm definitely thinking either the yellow fabric or the green fabric, but well, we're going to do both. So, and not so much these backdrops. They're really pretty, but I just want to have something that really stands out, and you'll get that more when you have a more textured type of fabric. Okay, let's start with trying to think up of a composition that we like. So I draped my linen on top of my backdrop, but I didn't pull it straight. Like you can see, there are a lot of like double folded linen here, just creases and stuff. But I don't know, I liked it. Like I said, it gives a lot of layering and texture. So sorry about that. I always prefer to go with the golden triangle composition technique. So I always keep that in mind when I'm thinking about my setup. So I'm just going to play around now, probably fasten this a bit because it's not as exciting and I'm always changing it up. Okay. So a little tip, if you want to create some layering on your plates as well, use just a small dish to elevate your other plate. I feel like I'm still missing something, but I think it's important to start cooking so that we have our sandwiches and then we can rearrange a little bit more, because I think it's still a bit bland, but you know, we need to add in the food and then see how we can strengthen our composition. Okay, let's get cooking. Oh, these are looking good. I'm going to cut my grilled cheese in half and then put them back together again, and that way the cheese can kind of melt back together, and when you pull them apart you get one of those cheese pulls. I feel like it could be fun if we add in one of, like we have a lot of, hey Tirza, we have a lot of different of the ingredients, so we could just incorporate that into the photo, and that's cool because it's green and yellow as well. So now we have all of the ingredients that are actually in this dish. Now I'm going to set up my camera. I think this needs to be gone. This is stupid. Instead, I've repositioned my backdrop because it was partially in the shadow and I want it to be completely in the sun, and also I want it to be the shade over here, so I twisted it. And I put my camera on a tripod instead of this camera I'm holding right now. I've still maintained that golden triangle composition technique. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you saw that. So I'm going to take a couple of test shots, maybe place some stuff around, play with it, and I am going to show you some of the results. I've placed one of the grilled cheese parts like this so that you can see on the inside as well, and this is what I came up with. Next up, the yellowy backdrop, and let's see if we can do a mix of the linens and the regular backdrop, because I really love the combination of the structures and the textures, and it also creates more layers in the frame. Now I'm going to use the exact same dish and the same props. Let's see what we can make of it. I already like it, but I think it's, I really like hard light photography, but I also wanted to take a picture where I diffuse my hard light a little bit with this leaf. Let's do it. You want to be really careful when you do this because you don't want it to be too dark, obviously. So you need to really make sure you place the shadows correctly. I have two different plants. I have a lot of these fake plants, by the way, because it's easy and I only use them as shadow, never as an actual plant prop. So it doesn't really matter how they look because those fake plants usually aren't the best. I hope that made some sense. So the idea, if you use a composition technique, is that you, with a golden triangle, you will place the hero of your dish on those cross sections, and then you use the leading lines to help strengthen your composition. And that could be anything. That could be ingredients, props, linens, shadows. So yeah, don't limit yourself to just props or just the ingredients, but really, you know, play with it, play with shadows as well, play with light. Light is so important for your picture. So the golden triangle is my favorite, and you can use it in so many different ways. It's not like you'll have the same photo again and again. So don't worry about that. Just to summarize, one quick tip, like I said about the grilled cheese sandwich, cut it, place it back together and let the cheese melt a little bit. And then you have those nice cheese pulls, but do use a lot of cheese because the more, the better for cheese pulls. And also cheese is great, so why not? Do I have anything else to say? Right, so if you, I said it in this video, but if you shoot with direct sunlight, always shoot a little bit underexposed, because if you shoot at the correct exposure, then all of your white and your very light stuff will be very overexposed and there will be no more detail in it. So if you're not using any light or white props or backdrops, then you'll be fine. But that white really bounce back all of the light, obviously, and you'll lose detail, and you can fix that in editing. So if you're shooting in direct sunlight and you're using a lot of light props or light backdrops, always shoot underexposed. So my absolute favorite backdrops are just linens. It gives a lot of texture. You can really play around with the colors. They're not as expensive. I usually get them at Zara Home or H&M Home. And yeah, they're also useful when you have a dinner party and you want to actually use them for your dinner party, which I pretty much never do because I always forget and I don't want to stain them. But I have loads. I have green, yellows, pinks, and a lot of neutral tones as well. But you can really set a mood for your setup when you use linens, and they're cheaper than getting backdrops. You can use vinyl backdrops, but I prefer to use the solid wooden backdrops, but they're very expensive. So for me, linen is the best second choice. So I hope this video was useful for you. If so, then please consider liking and subscribing. If you're from the Netherlands and you're looking for a food photography course, I do that as well. Just send me an email and or take a look at my website because it's on there as well. And then yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and next week I'll come back to you with a recipe.